Hey, what's up, stock compounders? Brad here. So today I got a question in a comment from Brian. He asked, what do you think of SNOW, the IPO that's coming up here? So SNOW is the ticker for Snowflake. It's a cloud storage business. And apparently Berkshire Hathaway put $250 million in to get Class A shares. And Salesforce also put in $250 million. So those two are investors in this IPO. So I was asked by Brian, what do you think of it? Now, generally with IPOs, it's kind of a sexy experience, right? A company just coming into the public realm for the first time. You've got a company here in cloud storage. Like, what sector is more exciting right now, other than electric vehicles, than cloud storage? So, you've got this situation where investors, I think, are going to be clamoring to get their hands on SNOW, especially Robinhood investors, these millennial investors who, follow Salesforce and Amazon and all of these, cloud companies, Google, Microsoft. It's an easy pass for me just because I think the likelihood of being able to get any kind of margin of safety on a stock like SNOW is essentially zero. Another reason I really don't like investing in IPOs is once you become a public company, that's when you really have to start disclosing a lot more about the business in those quarterly and annual financial statements. But before you're public, you can be very tight-lipped, very secretive about what's happening with the business. And I think we're seeing some of the ramifications that can cause with Nikola. I just watched a video today put out by Meet Kevin on Nikola and how they were accused by a short seller of essentially using components in their trucks from other manufacturers and claiming that they were their own products, their own IP, intellectual property. And what was most interesting about all of this is Nikola had a demo video from 2017 where it showed, supposedly one of their trucks, in motion on the road, right? And, that's what they claimed. They claimed the truck was in motion. It was a demo video. But it turned out the truck had been towed to a higher elevation, and the truck was simply coasting down a 3% grade. It wasn't being propelled. So you've got Nikola with this demo video of a truck that's basically free falling down this hill, gliding down this hill. And the company makes propulsion systems. It makes fuel propulsion systems, right? So, you can see after hours, Nikola is hurting. I think it's down around 8%. If I had a cheap way to short or bet against Nikola, I probably would. I made a video, I feel like it was a couple months ago, about how, investors, again, were clamoring for Nikola because a lot of them missed the boat on Tesla. And so they think, here's another opportunity to own a Tesla-like company. I had a spidey sense a couple months ago, and I say this in the video. Nikola, it's basically a fraud. It's an Elizabeth Holmes version of an electric truck company, and it seems like that story is playing out. So back to SNOW. I'm not saying SNOW is a fraud. It's probably a fine business. The issue that we have with IPOs is it's just really hard to have enough information to understand a business, right? To make a comfortable investment in that business. And on top of that, to get a good price. as compared to value, to get a margin of safety that allows me to sleep at night. So I'll be passing on SNOW. It'll be interesting to see, how it plays out. I may buy into it in the future, but I'm perfectly comfortable sitting on the sidelines as a business takes off, right? And knowing, that was an easy pass. I'm not going to buy an IPO. I'm not going to buy a company that's, been public for a year. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. And I may leave all kinds of upside on the table, but I know that I'm also going to be protecting myself from a lot of downside risk, from a lot of risk of losing money by sitting on the sidelines with IPOs. So that's how I deal with my own FOMO around it. By realizing I'm also saving all of that money loss, essentially, by waiting until it's a fat pitch, by waiting until it's in my sweet spot, that I understand the business, it's being offered at a discount. It's so hard for those circumstances to be present in an IPO type situation. Sure, Berkshire is involved in the IPO. That certainly makes it more compelling. But I need to sleep at night, guys. I don't need to be swinging at these wild pitches, these IPO pitches. But that's me. That's my approach. Everybody needs to kind of understand what their own tolerance is for not understanding a business yet, for having so much in front of the company to be forecasted, not a lot of track record to go on. We all have different comfort zones around those things. And yeah, I'm also curious to see what's going to happen with Nikola after this latest press release, essentially admitting that the truck, it wasn't being propelled, it wasn't being driven. Really, it was just coasting. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, just wanted to answer that question. It's a good question. And the thing I really wanted to get to around all this, to drill into my own head, is that I'm not looking to add an idea every day to my potential investment portfolio. I'm really not. The goal for me, the optimal situation for me, is that all I do is watch what Monish Pabrai is doing. Maybe I watch what Phil Town is doing. I have a couple investors, and maybe they're buying 1 or 2 investments a year. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for those to show up on the 13F filings, on the annual reports. And I'm asking myself, do I understand this business? Is it still selling with an attractive margin of safety? And, and I don't necessarily even have to understand the business. If it's got enough going for it, if there's a couple super investors that I follow who own it, I don't necessarily need to understand the business. But if I don't understand the business, as I've talked about recently, I need to know I need to have a plan to get out. And that plan needs to be well defined. And likely it has to be based on what that super investor does, who I've cloned. Let them lead the way on the exit strategy. So it's just a reminder to myself, as I make videos, as I make a video every day, it's very compelling for me to do analysis on all kinds of companies, to produce content for you guys. And I've got to remind myself, less is more in this game. Be quick to say no to ideas. There's a commenter who commented on Micron. He said, well, I just can't wrap my head around the business. I don't know where it's going to be in 5 or 10 years. So it's a pass. I said, that's great. Like, the best thing we can do, one of the best things we can do as investors, is be quick to say no, okay? Because then we have time. We have time to be prepared for when that fat pitch comes, to understand businesses, understand, read autobiographies, understand, investors, great investors who have come before us. There's so much wisdom to be picked up. Charlie Munger, he's reading all the time. Warren Buffett, they're reading all the time. They're not trying to find new investment ideas all the time, okay? They're making themselves wiser all the time so that they're ready when that idea comes and knocks them over the head. So that's something I want to get better at, is being patient with ideas, not actively going after ideas, letting ideas come to me, and being quick to say no. And on the rare occasion when I don't say no, being prepared, having the preparation to be able to relatively quickly make a decision because I've prepared myself within that business, that industry. So I'll leave it at that, guys. Just wanted to share that, my thoughts on IPOs, my thoughts on, filling your watch list with dozens of companies. I think there's probably a lot to be said for having just a few companies on your watch list and having strong conviction in those companies and really focusing there. So that's it for today, guys. I will see you in the next video.